New details have been revealed about the Mar-a-Lago raid that we hadn't known prior. Let's take a look at what happened.
FBI search of former President Trump's Florida home. ABC News learning that authorities must now track the chain of custody of those top secret documents seized to see if any of the material was compromised.
Our Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas is in Washington with the very latest on the fallout. Good morning, Pierre.
Robin, good morning. We're truly in uncharted waters, and Friday's release of details about what the FBI discovered during that unprecedented search at Mar-a-Lago is stunning. Documents and secrets so sensitive that the nation's security was potentially put at grave risk. This morning, new concerns over the potentially extraordinary risks to national security posed by the discovery of classified information allegedly seized from former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. ABC News learning that top law enforcement officials must now try to track the chain of custody of those national secrets in an urgent effort to find out if any of the material allegedly taken from the White House was compromised.
How long were they kept at Mar-a-Lago? How many people potentially had access to them while they were kept at Mar-a-Lago?
The investigation will likely include interviewing former Trump administration officials and may even involve checking for fingerprints on the recovered classified documents to better understand who might have had access to them. The Justice Department warrant unsealed Friday raises a prospect of espionage charges and obstruction of justice, revealing 11 sets of recovered documents ranging from confidential to secret, top secret, and even top secret SCI, meaning that it came from intelligence sources and could involve nuclear secrets and information about terrorism operations. SCI material often involves intelligence from allies, spying, electronic eavesdropping, or informants. It's supposed to be viewed only in the most secure designated locations and by officials with the highest security clearances. Federal security protocols flatly state the compromise of top secret material creates the potential for exceptionally grave damage to national security.
Exceptionally.
Among the critical...
Bro, I just want to know, man, is it aliens or not, Trump? I thought you were like a real one. You know what I mean? I thought you were a man of the fucking proletariat. I thought you were like a working class hero. You were going to fucking investigate the swamp and shit. Tell us now, did America do 9/11? And who killed JFK? And what the fuck's going on? Are there fucking aliens or what? Like, you can't even give us this shit? Hillary Clinton, still fretting around, unarrested, okay? You said you were going to lock her up. You fucking didn't lock her up. You said you were going to drain the swamp and, like, talk about these, like, classified information that, like, the American government's hiding from the people, okay? You haven't done that. What have you done? You ain't done shit. Your number one claim to fame now is the economy was so good. Gas was $1 a gallon. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, you didn't do that. China did that, right? With the China virus. Give us the classified documents. Just say what it is. Just say it out loud. Declassified it in your head. You know? And the funniest part about this, of course, has been like, we went so quickly back to the old form. So quickly. We just fucking snapped immediately back to like old school Trump era media coverage where like everyone is waiting on Donald Trump to say something so that like, you know, the Republicans can say this is 5D chess and the Democrats can say this is 5D chess as well, but in a way that is like antagonistic to Trump. Like Democrats are out there being like, oh yeah, he stole these so we can like give it to Saudi Arabia or whatever. And then Republicans are like, oh yeah, he stole these because he's like, you know, fighting against the deep state or whatever. And meanwhile, the entire Trump team is just like literally throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks. First, they started off by saying, well, actually, they might have planted stuff. They probably planted stuff. Then they were like, well, we could have given the information back if you asked nicely more than once. And then now they're saying, and then they finally arrived at like, well, I declassified this information as the president in my head. And basically, like, those things are inherently contradicting. Like, if that's your argument, if your argument was that they put stuff there, then you can't say you declassified it. right? Oh, the Obama did it too was also another one too. Yeah. You know when you steal a couple staplers from work after you get fired? This is kind of like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, what is it? Which one is it? Did the FBI plant this information as they do, okay, all the time? Or did you actually declassify all that information? Or, and this is the biggest brain move, which is what I said originally as a joke, and I have not seen this yet as a defense, Trump still believes he's president, so he still believes he has access to classified intel and that he can declassify it because he still believes that the election was stolen from him, and therefore, he's still the president. Remember, I said that. I said that the first fucking day. I was like, this is going to be such a funny way to try and defend himself. Do you buy into the whole he was selling it to the Saudis narrative? I've seen it on TikTok. No. Maybe, but not really because it's on TikTok. So if it's on TikTok, it's probably not real. Nothing on TikTok is real, man. You are never going to get you're never going to get like truth from TikTok unless it's my TikTok, which I can't even fucking post to because they blocked me. They banned me from posting.
Questions federal investigators are expected to address. Exactly how was it that so many boxes of highly classified material could be removed from the White House in the first place?
What do you mean how? Like, they took it in boxes, motherfucker. We've known for like a year. We've known for years, 2 years. There's photos of them like taking big boxes out and putting it into a fucking U-Haul truck. It's like cardboard boxes. They say like, this is top secret nuclear information. Okay, basically written with like Sharpie on the side of it. And it's like all these staffers moving those big boxes into a U-Haul truck. That's how they took it out. I made up the, Sharpie thing, but pretty much.
Who moved it? How was it transported to Mar-a-Lago? What were the security protocols there, if any? The breadth and sensitivity of the material causing...
Why did the FBI only do this raid now? It was so long ago. Great question. Well, you don't even need to ask this question to me. You could have just Googled it, but they did. They did ask. They asked nicely because the FBI's main interest is not rocking the fucking boat. So obviously, they fucking asked nicely time and time again. There was a subpoena that they didn't follow through on. They gave back some of the information, but not all of it. And then they fucking had to retrieve it. Like, what do you mean?
Political shockwaves in Washington.
One side is going to say that this is just politically motivated and weaponization of the Justice Department, but it's also very serious charges about very serious crime.
The Justice Department had been negotiating for these documents for weeks, eventually subpoenaing them. ABC News also learning that in June, a Trump attorney signed a statement telling federal prosecutors all classified documents at Mar-a-Lago had been turned over after the FBI visited that month. And ABC News confirming that in June, security camera footage from Mar-a-Lago was subpoenaed and turned over by Trump. It's unclear how long that footage covers and what it shows. Many security officials are expressing utter shock at this situation, and they remind that these types of national security secrets are exactly the kind of information that our adversaries run spy operations to steal. Robin?
All right, Pierre, thank you so much. And for more, let's bring in ABC News Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams. And Dan, there's so much to unpack here. What's the most significant thing we have learned now about the search?
I think there are two things. Number one is how sensitive the documents were. That is relevant, no matter how you look at this situation, and Pierre's reporting certainly brings that to life. But the second thing is that these documents were subpoenaed. And the reason that that's important is it goes to intentionality. It goes to whether this was done on purpose. Now, we don't know the answers to those questions, but if these documents were subpoenaed and they weren't turned over, the question becomes why? Why were they refusing? Why were they hiding? Why were they forgetting? Whatever the reason is, as a legal matter, that does become very significant.
And Dan, as you know, Trump's team has claimed he declassified the documents that the FBI seized last week. So what do you make of that?
So there are two issues there. Number one is how you go about declassifying if you're the president of the United States. And this is certainly a very unusual way, at the very least, to claim declassification. But even for the sake of argument, let's assume that the documents were declassified by the president while he was president. That doesn't necessarily resolve all the legal questions, because there's an argument to be made that all three of the statutes that are being investigated here don't require that the documents be actually termed classified. Now, again, I think it's important.
Yep, exactly. Karim Jovian says, just want to say thank you for reacting to the interview to New Yorkers responding to Andrew Tate. Yeah, man, you're welcome. It was a great video. Yeah, that's what I was saying as well. Like, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like, they can still hit him with the espionage charge if he just has access to those documents that he wasn't supposed to have access to.
With regard to whether you did it on purpose, though, whether the documents were classified.
The three statutes that you just alluded to include the Espionage Act and one involving obstruction. So which one is the most concerning for the former president?
Yeah, I mean, espionage, of course, sounds the worst because it's got the word espionage in it. But as a legal matter, it's the obstruction of justice one where you could face up to 20 years if that ever comes into play.
We'll see what happens. Okay, there, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah. Trump is so big brain. He's so alpha brain, mega mind that he actually fucking declassified documents ahead of time that the FBI was trying to plant in his home. Starman4, thank you for the 10 gifted subs.